There are several conspiracy theories regarding the moon, with the 1969 moon landing being the most popular. The hollow moon conspiracy says that the moon has a hollow interior and that it's actually a massive structure that's orbiting the Earth, and that it was built by aliens. This is how the conspiracy was born. On November the 20th, in 1969, when the Apollo 12 crew, after they returned to their command ship, sent the lunar module crashing back onto the moon, which created an artificial moonquake. This caused the moon to reverberate like a bell, and scientists couldn't explain it. The crew also had difficulty drilling into the surface of the craters, which was an anomaly in itself. Also, they brought back moon rocks from the Apollo missions, and the rocks were magnetized, but they weren't strong enough to pick up a paperclip, but they were still magnetic nonetheless. However, there isn't a magnetic field on the moon. In 1976, the Soviets discovered iron particles that didn't rust in samples that were brought back by an unmanned moon mission in 1970. Iron that doesn't rust isn't known in nature. And two Russian scientists theorized that the moon wasn't completely natural. They believed that it was a planetoid. A planetoid is a celestial object that orbits the sun, but it's not a planet nor an asteroid. They believed the moon was hollowed out a very long time ago by intelligent beings that had technology that was way more advanced than ours. And they believed that huge machines were used to melt the rock and to form large cavities within the moon. They believed that the structure was protected by a hull-like inner shell and a reconstructed outer shell of metallic rock, and that it was steered through space and that it was parked in orbit around the Earth. The movie Moonfall with Halle Berry actually references the hollow moon. Dr. Sean C. Solomon, formerly of MIT, said that after studying the gravitational field of the moon, that the lunar orbiter experiments vastly improved our knowledge of the moon's gravitational field, indicating the frightening possibility that the moon might be hollow. Scientists and astronomers still debate the origin of the moon, but the giant impact hypothesis is the currently accepted theory. It says that the moon was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, or a few million years after the formation of the solar system, and this was due to the collision of Earth with a protoplanet that was about the size of Mars. The protoplanet was called Theia, after the Greek titan who gave birth to the moon goddess, Selene. A protoplanet is a large body of matter that is thought to be developing into a planet, and Theia was partially absorbed into Earth, and a large amount of debris from Theia and Earth were sprayed around. Gravity then pulled the debris into orbit around the Earth, and as the fragments collided, they began to form the moon. Something that's fascinating to me is the way that the moon and the sun line up perfectly during a full eclipse. And this is because the moon is just the right distance and diameter to completely cover the sun during an eclipse. The time taken for the moon to spin on its axis is almost exactly the same as the time that it takes to orbit the Earth, and that's why we always see the same side of the moon. Isaac Asimov said, "There is no astronomical reason why the moon and the sun should fit so well. It's the sheerest of coincidences, and only the Earth among all the planets is blessed in this fashion. And the pull of the moon's gravity on Earth holds Earth in place." And I don't think this was an accident. That's just my opinion. South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa said that Zulu legends believed the moon was hollow and the home of a reptilian race of extraterrestrials with scaly skin. According to the legend, the moon wasn't always in the sky. It was put in place by two brothers who stole the moon in the form of an egg from the great fire dragon and emptied out the yolk. They then rolled the moon across the sky to the Earth, which brought about all types of cataclysmic events on the Earth, subsequently placing it in orbit around the Earth. Prior to this, the planet was said to have been covered in a sheet of watery mist which came raining down to Earth once the moon came into orbit. The water canopy fell to the Earth when the moon was put into place in the Earth's orbit. And Zulus and some other African accounts say that the moon was built far, far away in order to keep an eye on humanity. They also believed the moon was a giant ship that was used as a way to travel the universe, and it's where they escaped to during the Great Flood, which they caused by manipulating the moon. Some believe that this may be a reference to the Great Flood that destroyed the antediluvian civilizations, or those that lived before the flood. An ancient calendar in Bolivia even tells of a time when the moon wasn't in the sky. And theories about the moon go back thousands of years as various cultures and civilizations discussed how it came to be where it is today. Greek authors Aristotle and Plutarch, along with Roman authors Apollonius Rhodius and Ovid, all wrote of a group of people who lived in the central mountainous area of Greece called Arcadia. This is substantiated by symbols on the wall of the courtyard of a word I can't pronounce. I'll put it on the screen. And it's near the city of another word I can't pronounce, and this is in Bolivia. And it records that the moon came into orbit around the Earth between 11,500 and 13,000 years ago, long before recorded history. Project Golden Dragon is based on a Department of Defense whistleblower and his 14 years of research. His theory says that the Clementine mission in 1994 was a cover for a conspiracy. He put his evidence in video form on YouTube, and the channel was called 1967 Sander, but it no longer exists. But he does have another channel, and it's called UAP Research. And the goal of the Clementine mission was to investigate and map the moon by taking pictures of the moon. He believes that Clementine was actually a mission by the U.S. Department of Defense to take pictures of alien technology that was seen in the Zeeman crater on the far side of the moon in a photograph. He goes on to show his evidence of the massive object that was photographed by Clementine, and according to him, the object is 35 miles long and 14 miles high. He believes that NASA tried to hide it by smudging the image and calling it a digital error. He thinks the outline of the object matches a specific configuration that's hidden in the logo of the Clementine mission. And he also believes that the object is a giant alien machine that's made of many parts or scales that are able to move in any direction. He believes that the object moves like a caterpillar on multiple legs, and by making further enhancements of the original image, he was able to notice even more details, such as a suction unit for spraying chemicals and even mandibles. And lastly, he feels that the government should tell the public what it knows about the alien technology on the moon.